I love roller coasters and roller coaster rankings. So today, instead of complaining about movies, I'm going to enthuse about my top 10 favorite roller coaster. This year, I reached a total of 100 credits when I finally rode King to Ka for the first time. And then I went to Dollywood, so my total is 107. Of those 107, at least 45 of them were new this year. I got really into roller coasters this year. Anyways, I'm breaking out into the enthusiast life, and since I enjoy consuming roller coaster videos like this so much, I thought I would try my hand at it. My rankings come from how much I actually enjoy being on it. Really, it came from the thought, would I rather be on this or Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure? Nitro is my litmus test because I can ride it and enjoy it all day. I also reward coasters for their uniqueness. If I experience something for the first time on a ride, it shoots way up my rankings. Here are a few that fell just short of the top 10. Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. This is an incredible ride and the number one hidden gem that everybody knows about at Cedar Point. On my coaster trip, I asked a few single rider buddies about tips about Cedar Point. All of them mentioned how great this ride is. Great setting by the beach, amazing ejector hills at the finale. This ride will bruise your thighs as the restraints try to hold you in. Couple that with an unbelievably high throughput that made my longest wait for it like 20 minutes, you have a big winner. And a great option for if you want to get on something fast at Cedar Point. El Toro at Great Adventure. I know, how dare El Toro miss my top 10? It really was almost there until I went to Dollywood. The first drop and double camelbacks are outstanding, and will try to leave you outstanding of your seat. My last couple of rides on it this year left me a little beat up. It was not as glass smooth as it once was, and I couldn't ride it more than twice in a row before needing a break from it. Honestly, someone might want to check on those back wheels and see if there's a... Oh no! We'll check back in with El Toro next year after it's back up and running, and see if it can redeem a spot in the top 10. Number 10. Phoenix at Knoebels. Alright, some may say that Phoenix is overhyped with its many golden ticket awards, but I like it, so shut up! Knoebels is one of my favorite parks that I often go to. I love the pay-per-ride system, and their lineup is just perfect for a park of its size, and Phoenix is its crowning jewel. This coaster only has buzz bars and no seatbelts, which means you really feel the true meaning of airtime. Every drop, the car leaves you behind. I've actually learned to keep a hand holding on to help control my bouncing so I don't land on the person sitting next to me. The finale is fantastic and leaves me laughing and excited and wanting more every time. Number 9. Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Expedition Everest is my favorite ride at any of the Disney parks, and that's including Star Tours, which if you know anything about me, you know how much I love Star Tours. I'll never forget going through that museum in line and looking up 75% of the way through to say, wow, I forgot this wasn't a real museum. I thought this was all real. And then being berated by my family for ruining the magic they were also lost in. This ride is very exciting. It goes, spoilers, backwards, and forwards too if that's your thing. It's fun, full of theming, full of thrills, and nice enough for anyone to go on it. Number 8. Thunderhead at Dollywood. Dollywood was amazing and filled with lots of great rides, and the one that stood out the most to me was Thunderhead. And yes, I did ride Lightning Rod. Based on the Lightning Rod's hype, it must have been a slow running day because I could not believe I heard so much about Lightning Rod when I've heard almost nothing about Thunderhead. I got off of Thunderhead as a night ride as my first go and immediately realized it was my favorite wooden roller coaster. And the reason that Mystic Timbers didn't make the cut. Thunderhead is relentlessly fast and wild through all of its course in a way that makes no sense. It feels like it's always going its maximum speed. Despite riding at least 5 times, I still cannot give you a detailed rundown of the layout, and that is a huge win for a ride in my opinion. Admittedly, it might be because this one will rattle your brain around a little bit, and I couldn't marathon it all day like I could Lightning Rod, but it's so worth it. Please don't look at my double standard of El Toro. Recency bias. Number 7. Nitro at Great Adventure. Here we are at the litmus test. Nitro was my favorite roller coaster for a very long time. It's my favorite at my home park of Great Adventure because I could genuinely ride it all day, non-stop. I could probably sleep on Nitro. I want to live on Nitro. I like that Nitro is just airtime hill after airtime hill, through the woods, peeking over to the river. It feels magical and endless. Helix mixes it up, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of graying out, and I don't know who would be, so I don't love that part. But the hills afterwards, despite being smaller, pack huge punches, especially right off the mid-course. Nitro has just what I want out of it, and that's why it's my comparison point and why I keep coming back. A word on uniqueness. Nitro has the home park advantage over Diamondback and Candemonium because it's my hypercoaster. It'll take something very special to knock Nitro from that title, something even more special than a water splash. Nitro gives me just what I want. The following coasters deliver even more than I expect from a good coaster. Number 6, Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. I went into Kennywood with basically no expectations at all, and left with a very high opinion of the park. I was especially impressed by Phantom's Revenge, which felt like a hidden gem like Magnum XL, but with nothing around it to outshine it. Sorry, Steel Curtain. The line was never long for me, and the ride was always spectacular. The dive into the ravine is amazing, the turnarounds are excitingly fast, and the airtime in the finale, is up there with Magnum XL. I especially love the janky double down because it doesn't seem like it should exist. I went on it plenty of times, but enough is never enough. Number 5, Sky Rush at Hershey Park.
It's going!
I know I just said something had to be really special to beat Nitro as my hypercoaster, and then listed 2 hypercoasters, but they're really good! Sky Rush is a rush. This ride is exhilarating, even to the most dead inside. When no other coaster can excite you anymore, a wing left seat on this will. I tried to get as much legroom on a ride, and off of the first airtime hill, I decided to manually lower my restraint and accept the thigh crush because I needed to feel more secure. That doesn't happen on rides for me. This ride moves in a way that I am completely unfamiliar with and incredibly excited by. The train twisting and dropping creates the best yank sensation I've had on any ride I've been on. Number 4, Maverick at Cedar Point. Maverick has it all, and it's fun for everyone. My highlights are the 95-degree drop that bucks you from your seat, the ejector hill that flings you from your seat, and the stangle dives, which twist you from your seat, which were extra unique for me. What's a stangle dive? It's kind of like when you bank real sharp and then you drop. I don't know, to be honest, but I really love it. This ride is wonderful and strange and cannot be missed. It gets bonus points for me because it's also a really comfortable ride. I know enthusiasts all want the original Heartline roll and the trim brakes turned off, but the ride we have is wild and caring. I rode it with the confidence that my parents were comfortable and having a good time with me. Maverick brings the thrills and pulls its punches with its intensity, and I for one appreciate that, because that means more people can enjoy it. Number 3, Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. Lots of people talk about Superman the ride here, which once again gives Wicked Cyclone the Hidden Gem Award. I don't understand how short my waits have been to get on this ride. I don't think the general public understands what's standing in this corner of the park, and I can't believe it. Wicked Cyclone is nothing short of amazing and relentless. This thing never stops sending you out of your seat in new and exciting ways for its entire duration. And its duration is pretty long because it takes 3 laps around its super small footprint. There's a trick track section right by the photo, and I wish I was able to get that photo, but the cameras weren't on the day I went. That moment is so surprising, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I wish I could see my face when I experienced it for the first time. I find myself enjoying it most in the front, because the wait is so short. I even rode it in the rain once for the full Cyclone experience. I can marathon this all day, and never find it dull, even for a moment. Number 2, Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. I already love this park. I already love the Jurassic Park section, and now I can't get enough. I left Disney thinking, okay, that's nice, I'll do it again eventually. But I left Islands of Adventure going, I need to come back ASAP. And it's all because of the Mystic Fountain. I have to go back and thank him for his dinner recommendation. Oh, and Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster is too good of a ride to ignore. Combine it with the rest of Universal's magical lands, and I'm obsessed. The day I went was not very busy, and I was able to get plenty of rides on it. My girlfriend and I rode it twice in the morning thinking it was amazing, and then we went back halfway through the day after it warmed up, and it blew us away again. This ride is great, but whew boy, when it's hot, it's really great. The theming of the first half is very cool, but the ride really goes into overdrive, delivering show-stopping element after its second launch. The Mosasaurus roll hype is real. You will be impressed. This ride is perfect and has a little bit of everything. It's amazing to ride, it's amazing to look at, and it's amazing to think about. I can't wait to get on it again. Number 1, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Okay, we all knew Steel Vengeance was going to be here, I'm not unique. Steel Vengeance is pure, unexplained magic to me. This was my first trip to Cedar Point, and it was my first time on any RMC creation, and it was my first time experiencing a lot of the elements featured on it. This ride is like Wicked Cyclone times 3. I don't know why they bothered to give you a seat, because you're never in it. I remember after my coaster trip that I could not stop talking about this ride, and highlighting its outer bank turn and wave turns. An outer bank turn? What? And a wave turn, where you get airtime when you're already sideways. What? I was only able to ride it once during my trip, but that might add to its mysticism. It was a new type of coaster with new types of elements, and I cannot give you a full layout of what even happens in there. Steel Vengeance steals the show, and it is well earned and well justified. That was my top 10. Let me know if you enjoyed this or if you like roller coasters at all, cause if you do, that'll really inspire me to make more roller coaster videos, and if you don't, it's probably not going to stop me from making more.